Welcome back, guys. We'll try to do a few more things on the Portal Pro car, and I'll explain what we're trying to do now. Bear in mind, I cheated a little bit. Sometimes I don't have a lot of time to work on the car, so I sneak in a few minutes here and there so the car has a bit more done. But still, we have stuff to do and stuff I hope to learn. Alright, so this is how the car looks on the jig. As you can see, it already has the links. So the rear links, they are for my current Pro, and you can see this is one thing that I like to do. They are very loose, so this is very nice, because if you need to have clearance from the side, the link just goes to the side. If you need to have pure ground clearance, it just goes up. But on this one, like these links, they are quite I believe that we don't need so much curvature here. These were the first links I've made. They are stainless steel, and these links, I've been running them since I built the car in 2013, and they've bent at least a few times. So also it's not on a single plane, so this is like a 3D bend, and they are not really symmetrical, and it's really hard to replicate this. So I need to try and build something a bit more simple. So I will have here some old rod ends. I'll put them here and I'll put them there. Everything is fixed in place, so I can remove all the links, and the overall place of the car will not change. But I'll remove this link, and then I'll grab all thread and I'll make the bands that I want. Okay, so let's try to do that. As you can see, like, it's all twisted in several planes, so this is a disaster to try to replicate. So we're going to make a new one. So all thread is in. Get a Sharpie and mark more or less what you want to do, and I think I'll try to bend it around here, bring it down, and then another turn. So what do I use for bending tools? Actually, this is the first bending tool I've made all these years back, but I haven't used it for a while, because I didn't do many more of these very round shapes after this car, because they are so hard to replicate. But on this one I want to replicate a little bit, that's why I found this. So what do I normally use? I use this. This is the 7mm wheel key that I ground off long time ago. And normally what I do to bend, I just put inside, grab my mark and bend just a bit hard. So you can have them in different sizes. So this one is a bit more rounded. I don't know what's the name of this key in English. This is pipe wrench maybe. So normally to tighten the wheels of my cars, I put this here and inside, and I use it as a T-wrench, and yeah, it works. Also to bend links, it works very well to bend links, but let's use this one. So I'll put here and I'll start bending about here. So the alt thread is really easy to bend. So yeah, not too sharp. Now we come back to the car and we test to see if this fits our purpose. Okay, this will go down a bit more till here. Okay, so now with the shorter alt thread I can plan for the second band a bit better. So if it stays like this, I think I'll bend it about there. About here. And also I want this to be all in the same plane, so I'll bend it straight with this. So I'll bend it straight with this one, just pointing this direction. Now I will use this one. So here is the marking, more or less straight. You know, this is not rocket surgery. So we can play around with it a little bit. Okay, so it's a bit, maybe a bit too low, because when this is in with the shock in full extension, this will drop more, a bit too much. Let's see. Okay, see the movement? I put it a little bit higher and seems to be better, I believe. So I have this, and I'll get the old link that we are trying to replicate, and I'll put the new one, and I'll make sure that they are matching. Yeah, so there we go. And you see they are different, but more or less. Also, this link was done for the long gearbox that I had with the Bully V1. I never change. I hate making links, so I never change them. So guys, let's continue here, and I will try to explain how I do to make this this link from a bent link to a straight rod, or how do I take this measurement. So we grab a piece of wire and I take it from there, so as you see, more or less from here, and then I'm tracing it along the link. So now I know the shape, right? So it's matching, give or take, it's not a big deal. So there it is. Now I'll make it straight. And I have the measurement. 4mm titanium. We grab our mark, put it more or less straight. There it is, marking it. So now it's time to cut the threads. As you can see here, I already have a mark, and as you can see here, I already have some threads done. And I'm using, this is 4mm titanium. I'm using a power tool or a power feed to thread the titanium, and this is no excuse. I mean, I have all the tools now, but when I started I only had the most basic of tools, and to make the links that I showed you, that were the template for these rear links, the links from my original Pro, they were made with the most basic hand tools ever. So before, this is the first time that I'm actually using this tool. Before I was using this simple one. Of course, with the lathe it's easier to get everything nice and centered, but even if the threads are not perfectly centered on the rod, they will still work, so you can still make your own links. So now I'm going to show you how to use this, I'll call it like power feed or automatic thread cutter. It works like a charm. I was afraid because, yeah, you can always snap the material if it's not strong enough, but with a good die and 4 millimeters, oh, it's okay. I'm using the WD-40, I don't know if you guys can see, WD-40 cutting oil, because it's what I have. So, and of course, to cut threads, plenty of oil. This WD-40 makes like a foam, which, yeah, it's nice. You'll see even with the lathe, it will struggle. You can hear it. So slowest rotations you can get. Stopping in the middle, backing it up, putting a bit more oil. Putting yet again more oil. And then cutting it all the way. And of course this makes a really nice thread. It's nice and clean. It's hard to see when you have to stop, but it's not a big problem if you have 1 or 2 millimeters extra threads. So yeah, this is how I make links. At least cut the threads now. This is a wonderful tool.